Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. It's time to talk about The Witcher 4 and Ciri and CD Projekt Red and what appears or could possibly be CD Projekt Red making excuses, trying to, I don't know if you would say, call it gaslighting or using, obfuscating the words they really want to use. The main crux, the main argument that I've seen going around on social media is the look of Ciri between Witcher 3 and Witcher 4. And, well, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know my opinion. I personally don't see it. I checked out these two pictures, put them side by side and everything, and it's like, really? I don't see the man jaw. I don't see the adjustment of the looks. Me personally, and I do not expect anyone to agree, I expect to get a lot of heat for this one. And I accept it. I see this new Ciri as older, beat up, and worn out. And I've been called, oh, so many names because of this. And I find it interesting. I never thought being called a male feminist was definitely not on my bingo card, but hey, it is what it is. Everyone's got their opinions, and I accept and embrace them all. This is just mine. We have to wait and see. I'm of the opinion of, let's pay attention to the red flags. I've been quite vocal about this in every single one of my videos. Pay attention to the red flags. Make note of them. Hold on to your wallets. Do not pre-order. Wait for the finished product to come out. Is it possible that CD Projekt Red could come up with a reasonable explanation for why all of a sudden Ciri is a Witcher? I have my doubts. Although, based on the storytelling of Phantom Liberty, if any of those people are still actually at the office on the storytelling team, anything could happen. I consider Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty to be my personal bestest, most favorite of all time game of all time. And I'm 50, so, you do the math. But I just don't see it, my personal opinion. But the main thing that I think people should be discussing is, well, another thing, bringing up the inner workings of the office. Again, I personally don't care, but I cannot deny other people's opinions on it, and I will never deny or shoot them down. We have been, as gamers, have beaten down over and over again with what we see in a trailer, the aesthetics, whether they are pleasing or not, the possible effect that the inner workings of the office, how is that going to affect the video game once it has been released? We have been beaten down so often, more often than not, actually, to expect the game to be garbage whenever we see these red flags, that it would be disingenuous of me to deny other people's thoughts on this. But again, I prefer to wait for the finished product. But over here at Fandom Pulse, we got John F. Trent doing some of the heavy lifting, as usual. Interview, I guess, CD Projekt Red. They admit they are aiming for new players, and they want people who don't normally play our games. Now, you can easily look at this quote and think, well, what are they trying to say? Well, some, myself included, think to yourselves, well, that's just another way of saying the modern audience. The modern audience that doesn't actually exist. Let's see what we have to say. In an interview with IGN, which I'm going to get to another little snippet of, discussing The Witcher 4 following the release of its announcement trailer at the Game Awards, Mitrega, I think I pronounced that right, we want to aim for the new players, which is not necessarily a bad thing to do. You always want to get new players, people who weren't even looking at the original Witcher series, to come in. You want their money, but you have to pull them in. I'm not sure how much of this cinematic trailer is pulling people in. She elaborated the wider audience and also the people that know the franchise, but who maybe do not play our games. Now, that is a dangerous thing. People who know the franchise. There's a lot of arguments going back and forth on the legitimacy of Ciri, being a woman, surviving, the Grass Trials? The Trial of Grasses? I am not a Witcher lore master, but I've been doing some reading. So her ability, or lack thereof, to survive based on her gender and her age, because it hasn't happened in the past. Correct me in the comment section. I'm sure everyone will have their own view. I've seen people referencing the books. I've seen people referencing the end of the expansions for Witcher 3 as proof in favor or against whether or not Ciri can become a Witcher. This will be a story that CD Projekt Red is going to have to knock out of the park for not just, well, I think the casual gamers will just go into this looking for a fun game, which I don't see a problem with, but the lore masters themselves, the people who have been following the Witcher series, the novels, the lore, even the games, are going to look at this and go, you're going to have to give a good explanation, because also my understanding, Ciri's backstory makes her more powerful than the abilities given to the Witcher. So why would you do that? One theory and thought that popped into my head, and others as well, is that maybe she did try the trials. And according to CD Projekt Red, she did, and she passed them. Maybe, but to what extent? What sort of extent are these mutations having on her body? Perhaps, I mean, again, call it cope all you want to. I'm simply putting theories out there because that's what my brain does. Maybe that's the reason why she looks so worn the fuck out in the trailer. This approach will, looking for more players and more people to buy your game, which again is the goal of every AAA studio, or every studio, anybody who makes a game. This approach will seemingly affect not only the story, but the gameplay of the game. How's that? Wait, what? Okay. Game director Sebastian Kalemba explained, quote, "We create story-driven games. Make them fun first, asshole. So we want to make sure that people that buy games for story, they'll be able to experience the story in their own way, and that will be simply able to approach it. They will be simply able to approach it." Okay. But people that are, I can't read today. How's everybody doing? Moving on. But people that are looking for a specific challenge, they will also be able to experience the story in a challenging way. In regards to the story, Kalemba claims the company wants to, quote, "to put player agency at the center." Okay, this seems like all buzzword PR nonsense that you just put out there to tell everybody to try and, hype up your game. "We want to let players try to defend her." Huh? Wait. Seemingly why they chose to make Ciri want to try to defend her. "She's about to form her own codex on her..." Oh, boy. So does that mean she's going to make a new group of Witchers? Moving on. "The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, it's her own unique way. Then perhaps you should have showcased that in your little cinematic teaser trailer. Give her something new instead of what others see, what a few people see as, well, copying the same dialogue beats, copying your own homework and changing a few things. We're giving more tools to the players at disposal to be able to not only play and go and blah, 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 blah." This is just talking about wanting to get new players in, wanting to get new people in, and all this stuff. What do you make of it? Well, there's this other part of the interview that is definitely going around the interwebs, and it piqued my little bit of interest. "This likely won't come as a surprise." This is from the IGN article. "Fans of CD Projekt Red's beloved RPG series, ever since the Polish developer announced Polaris..." That's another thing. No one should be surprised that Ciri is the main protagonist in this game. It was pretty much done and done when Witcher 3 was ended. They all but came out and said it directly. So it's not a surprise. I don't think people have a problem with Ciri being the main character. They have a problem, like especially the lore masters, they have a problem with her being a Witcher based on the lore and the canon of the books and the games themselves. Let's see. Witcher's codename, people have theorized that the series would switch perspective from the iconic Geralt to Rivia. Theorized, we already knew that. She is, after all, effectively the secondary protagonist of both the original novels and The Witcher 3. Here's the lovely quote. "I think The Witcher, as the title, refers to both Geralt and Ciri, and always has." Okay, I think. Well, a lot of people disagree with you, and they see this, especially considering the modern day environment that we're suffering through as those who enjoy entertainment, enjoy different IPs. We see the strong male protagonist that has been the head of the IP for decades and decades and decades, all of a sudden pushed off to the side and replaced by the strong female character. Everyone's going to have their opinion on it, but to deny that is happening, that's disingenuous at best. Let's see. Explains. Franchise and lore designer at CDPR, quote, I think she's arguably more important to the plot than Geralt himself is, and that's where you're going to run into a lot of pushback. The vast, at least, well, should I say the vast majority of the fans of the Witcher series, they want Geralt. People stopped watching the Netflix show because Geralt wasn't in it after a while. People want Geralt. People want Henry Cavill as Geralt. Hi, Hunty. That's what they want. And by sitting there, this statement right there is going to do damage to the sales of your game. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it is what it is. Arguing that Ciri is more important than Geralt. Well, you just told people not to buy your game. Last we saw Ciri, she was a young woman facing her destiny, but now, as depicted in a new cinematic trailer shown at the Game Awards 2024, the Shill Awards, Ciri is a fully fledged Witcher. Can't wait to see the explanation for that. Hunting monsters for profit. Kalimba explains that. Here's the highlighted. Following the events of Witcher 3, Ciri has undertaken the famously painful Trial of Grasses, which has mutated her into a powerful and resilient warrior. I believe that was something she was before Witcher 4. Am I mistaken? Am I reading incorrectly into so many other opinions online? I unfortunately only played Witcher 3 up until the Bloody Baron. It just did not draw me in enough. My fault, my problem, but everything I'm reading, I mean, absolutely everything I'm reading talking about Ciri and her abilities, her powers are better, more like they're better than the Witcher's powers. Y'all let me know. But for her to take the Trial of Grasses, based on everything I've seen, it wasn't even, didn't think I saw someone also say that the ability, I guess, or the information on how to take the Trial of Grasses was lost because the people were killed. How is CDPR going to pull this off? And I firmly believe that is the argument we should be having instead. It's a lot more fun of an argument for sure for nerds and geeks all across and fans and everything than, oh my God, she just looks different. Let's stop having this argument. Well, no, I take that back. We shouldn't stop having this argument. We're going to disagree on the look of Ciri. We're going to disagree on the look of characters. But if you watched my video yesterday, oh my God, the intergalactic, that is a whole different end of the spectrum as far as feminization or defeminization of the lovely ladies. I love this grit in her. She's also obsessed with the way she lives. CD Projekt Red, you shit the bed with Cyberpunk 2077 release. You are continuing to shit the bed when it comes to announcing the promotion of ESG, announcing that you have a scholarship to hire women. People are not going to take these things well. We're unfortunately in an environment where merit is thrown out the window and checkbox ideological hiring practices is the norm, is the thing. And when we see that, when we as gamers see that, we expect a garbage product. You have a lot to live up to. You have a lot to make up for. Will that happen? I'm going to wait and see. Going to pay attention to the red flags as they come out, make videos on them, and let everyone know. Keep track of them. Hold on to your wallets. Do not pre-order. Wait for your favorite YouTuber to make a video to show some gameplay, some actual gameplay. And if it's fun, if it's not, make your decision there. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, and I'm going to get a few of them. Do all those nifty little things that YouTubers beg you to do, and I do hope, after this, I really hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.